Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight. Today, I have a returning guest, man. Listen, probably one of the best interviews I ever had on this show. I mean, listen, the guy is everything. I mean, world champion, a martial artist, action star, director, producer. I mean, listen, the guy has done everything. I got with me Robert Parham, and he has a new short film that I had the pleasure of seeing, and it's called The Thirst. Robert, welcome back to the horror realm, man.
Oh, thanks for having me back, man. Heck, thanks for having me back.
You too, brother. By the way, you are one of the first interviews I've ever done on this show, man, and probably one of the funnest I ever had too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes. All right, man. So let's jump into it, man. You got a new short film out right now that's called The Thirst, and you have it on the film festival circuit. Tell us a little bit about The Thirst.
Well, it actually started off as a feature film. We were bringing in Hawthorne James, and I hit, indie filmmakers. We hit that end of the road of the funding, so I decided to cut it into a short and put it on the festival circuit while I am accumulating funds to finish the feature. So it's a great story. I know you took a look at it. It's without giving too much away, about a down and out of luck alcoholic gambling degenerate detective who basically
Yes, he is.
He's the last in the line of vampire killers. So,
And I'm telling you right now, man, listen, I was engaged with this short film, The Home Tour. I don't know what it is, man, but I love a horror film that has that, like you said, that down and out, degenerate, alcoholic, private investigator or a detective that they're looking, someone hires them to solve a mystery. And I love that aspect. And that grabbed my attention right from the beginning.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, we had a great actor, and actually, it was my acting coach, Ali D'Souza. We had Amy Naylor, did great. Gary L. Turner as the landlord. You never forget him.
Yes.
Did short. And Nakia Bryant as Ali's wife, Lisa. So a nice little ensemble cast. And when we get the feature completed, those scenes will be in it. And plus, there's about 8 scenes that I couldn't actually put into a short film. And plus, when we shoot Hawthorne scenes, it'll be great.
I love it, man. So one of the things when it comes to black horror is, there's a lineage is vampire movies. Like if you go all the way back to Blackula to even most recently, I mean, you have, I'm trying to think of the one that I love. It's the one with the guy from Different Worlds in it.
Empire.
What was it?
Vampire in Brooklyn?
Not Vampire Brooklyn. Damn, I love this one. It's a Tempest. Temptation. It's something Temptation. It's a movie about this vampire woman who's a seductress, and she's preying on all these black men at this bar. It's damn. I can't even think.
Oh, that one missed.
This movie. Yeah, it's an iconic one. It's iconic, but I mean, when it comes to black horror, I mean, vampires, Dracula have a symbolic attachment to it. So, I mean, and this is another black vampire story. So, I mean, was that your intentions? Did you get any inspiration from Blackula and Vampire in Brooklyn?
Inspiration, of course, from Blackula, but my main inspiration was from the person who plays the vampire, Tori Scroggins, fantastic actor.
Yes.
Movie Mad as Hell, and he's doing a scene with Cinda Williams. And while I was editing, when I was watching the edit, there was a freeze frame on Tori. I was like, oh my God, he looks like a fucking vampire. Story featuring Tori, and that's really how that came about. But the storyline, I did get a little bit of storyline from the Blackula. As you see, the lead character reached back for his ancestors. His ancestors came to him, and plus we have the as you can see, I don't want to give Tori's vampire away, but you can see different.
Yes.
He's a kind of a different kind of vampire, and people are like, "Oh wow," you know. I want people to be surprised about that and accepting that his role is a really a different kind of vampire.
I agree. And one thing you feel about this movie too, like the main character, you feel like you can feel that this motherfucker is on down. I mean, his fucking wife done left him. Like shit, man. Like I was depressed for this guy.
Now, there's like I said, there's some other scenes that didn't make the cut in the short film that will make it in the feature film where you'll cry, you will actually cry, looking at it, and you'll be like, man, this guy just can't catch a break. You can't catch a break. When he makes the bet, the $10,000 bet.
Yes.
In the feature film, we shot part of it. He runs down the street after what he thinks is that woman's husband, and he stops because he's out of breath, and he looks at the TV in the mirror. I mean, behind the glass, and he sees that his horse lost.
Oh, that's the first thing he did with that 10,000. Because at first I was like, damn, that's fucked up. His wife done left him because he's down and out and so forth. But you start realizing a lot of the reason why he's in this situation is because of himself. You know, he's a fucking gambler. He's an alcoholic.
Right.
You kind of understand why his wife would leave him. Because as a man, I always want to kind of side with the man. Like, you know, like, fuck that bitch. Why don't you fucking leave him, this and that? But then you have to come to that self. You have to come into yourself. But like, sometimes the reason the woman leaves the man is because of the man. Like, sometimes, I mean, that's where it's at.
We're the problem.
Yes.
We're the problem. Hey,
but I feel like as men we can do that. I feel like as women cannot say. This I'm leaving myself in trouble. But I feel like women protect other women, and women are not going to say, "Well, damn, maybe the reason that marriage ended was because of the woman."
Yeah, it never happened. Yeah. Most of the times it's the guy.
Yes, even if it's not him. But
we're just big kids. That's all. We're big kids.
Yeah.
Mess up a lot. So yes, usually the guys.
So was it amazing to be able to like, wow, I know you grew up as a big horror fan as well as a martial arts fan. Was it amazing to like, wow, I'm making a fucking vampire movie?
Yeah, it was, and what I really wanted to do, just like my movie Cocaine Roach over here.
Yes, we're going to talk about that as well.
I wanted to get away from the what's the word I'm looking for? The vampire, and tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want the object of the thing to be about the vampire itself. So it's cool making a horror movie, but it's cool making a horror movie with a really deep story, so that if we took the vampire out, it's still a story. The movie still stands. You know?
Yes.
That was my objective.
Because I mean, if you took the vampire, this movie could have went in so many different ways. I mean, because it's a detective. Once again, it's a detective private eye who's done lost everything, and some woman comes to him and says, "I'm looking for my husband." We've seen movies like that before, and they were excellent movies.
Mm-hmm.
But you toss the vampire aspect into it, and it's a whole nother fucking animal.
Yeah. So that was just important. I think we as independent filmmakers should really beef up our storytelling as opposed to the gimmick. That's the word I'm looking for. The gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
The vampire can be. I mean, that movie, if I had wrote it another way, it's just been very gimmicky. You know, and you see very gimmicky vampire movies, monster movies, Amityville movies, all those gimmicky movies. And if you take the gimmick away, there's no movie. You know, now I don't want to speak on bad about other people's movies. I don't want to do that. But I'm going to take I don't know, Cocaine Cougar. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If we take the cougar out, there's no movie. Absolutely,
None.
absolutely no movie. So I want to. I personally, and I encourage other indie filmmakers to get away from that. Get away from the gimmick. Tell the story, and let the quote unquote gimmick fall where it's supposed to fall.
I 100% agree because Robert, listen, I've watched some badass movies. I'm not bad as in bad, right?
Uh-huh.
But they weren't as bad because I was somewhat what made me continue watching the movies was because I was invested in the characters, the
Right.
character development. You can have a bad movie and people can still watch and appreciate it if they care about the characters and there's some type of character development. And that's something that you did a great job with The Thirst because before we really even knew that there was vampires, you spent a lot of time really focusing on this main character. You spend a lot of time on for the audience to see this guy's pain, this guy's life falling apart before a vampire even came along. And so when shit starts hitting the fan, you care about this character.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was important. That's so important, and there's so much other stuff that he does throughout the movie that I couldn't put into the short film. You'd be like, man, this guy's just a fucking degenerate.
I still felt bad for him, but I felt bad for him up until the $10,000 part. I felt bad for him up to that point.
There's a part about his car. That once again we don't show in the show. He drives this beater and it puffs smoke and it's just a piece of shit. Gets pulled over by the cops. All kind of stuff. He can't catch a break. He can't catch a break, even when he tried. The part where he wakes up and decides it's going to be a new day for him, and he's washing his face like he's washing all his sins away, and he hit his bottle and he puts it down and he leaves, but he can't catch a break because you know what happens.
Yes.
So,
but this also expresses the importance here, and I'm going to say this: I'm 41 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask me in my 30s or 20s, I would probably give a different answer. But I feel like majority of men need a good woman. and we really do because if not, we could be in our fucking 50s living like our 20s. I mean, you and I both know men who are in their 50s and 60s and they're running around like they're still in their fucking 20s and they never grow.
A good woman will keep you grounded. A good woman, focus. They let you play, but the leash isn't that long.
Yes.
At the end of the day, think about when you're a kid. When you're a kid, you're taught to play. You play with your action figures, and then when you get older, no one tells you to grow up. I mean, your action figures become hobbies. They become, your car. They become your video equipment. They become some people nowadays, video games. I saw my dad playing a baseball video game. I was like, Dad, you're almost 80. It's we're never taught. I mean, we're taught to man up and take care of business and this, that, and the other. But we're never taught to let go of playing, so to speak. If that makes sense.
And I agree. But we also start turning women into action figures, and having a whole bunch of women on the shelves, collectibles, I call them. Yeah, right? And we start calling them collectibles. And I've always have said this: there is no such thing as a single man who is wealthy, who has money, because when you're single, and even if you have money, you're spending your money on pussy. Like you're and I'm not saying directly pussy, but I'm like thinking about myself in the 20s. I'm buying expensive clothes, cars, jewelry, all this shit, at the clubs, at the bars. All of that is to attract pussy.
Yep. Clothes, cars, jewelry, cologne, watches, necklace, the whole nine. And then if you go out on a date, then you got to spend some more money because movies, food, dinner,
Yep. You do that 3 times. You do that 3 or 4 times a week. You're fucking broke.
That's it. I get another job.
and we see with the main character, he loses his fucking wife, and this motherfucker just goes into like fucking frat boy and fucking life. waking up at noon, fucking drunk and shit.
Viral.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I think that there's going to be a lot of people who can identify with that character. Sabian dos Santos.
Yes. I mean, does a great fucking job. I mean, does a great excellent job. I mean, I related to this motherfucker, but not right now, thank God. But like in my fucking 20s, I was like, shit, that was fucking me. Like, you know what I mean? Like the fucking rent payment out on the fucking. I'm spending money on fucking stupid shit, like drunk. I should be working, and yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yep. Rent due at your apartment, rent due at your place of business, you know.
And you gotta have bottle service the fucking night before the club. All of the dumb shit, man. All the dumb shit that men do to get pussy.
That's true. That's
yeah.
funny. You sure do. Think about it. I'm like, man, I could have had about $500,000 if I invested all that.
Easily, man. Easily. And if women knew that there was a price tag, well, some women do. If women knew, if all women knew how much there's a price tag on their coochie, they wouldn't just be giving it up.
Nah, you're gonna have to put it out. You're gonna have to.
Because we were doing it. Men will pay for it. I mean, we will. I mean, we've been doing it since the beginning of time.
Right.
So,
oh man. And that shows you how far we've evolved, huh?
Exactly, man. Exactly, because now we're getting it for free sometimes, which is insane. But but okay. So, was it hard to try to compound all this into 30 minutes? Because I mean, it's a lot of story there, and you were able to cram it all into 30 minutes.
It was a little challenging because some of the stuff that I really wanted to show didn't move the story fast enough for a short film. There's a scene where Sabian actually finds the husband and sweeps him into a jar because he was killed by the vampire in the beginning of the movie, and brings it to Angela Queen, and they have an exchange and a set and the other, and she pays him more money to find the vampire and the sage to the vampire. So I really wanted that but it wouldn't. It just didn't move the story fast enough. So yeah, it was challenging. It took me, I don't know, about 4 or 5 days to decide. I can't use this. I can't use that. I can't use this. You know, it said that the art of any art is the art of taking stuff away. When you make a sculpture, it's the art of chipping away at the rock, not adding to it. So I had to get as bare minimum as I could, and then add what I needed.
Because one of the things I was curious about, without giving anything away, was, you know, you get to see flashbacks or like visions of this woman vampire, and I'm curious about her story. Who is she? What is her attachment?
The very beginning, that is Sabian's wife.
Oh,
at the very beginning, let me see. The woman vampire at the end of the movie is Sabian's wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there was a couple scenes in the movie where she was tearing apart a victim, and I was like, well, who?
That's the vampire. That's the same person. That woman vampire is the same person.
Really?
Yes.
Wait a minute, it's the same actor? I mean, actually,
person, same actor, same character.
Stop it, Robert.
Yeah. Watch it again.
They had titties.
Yes.
Okay.
And that same character is in Cocaine Roach. Same character.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
So yeah, same character. So that's why I said I wanted something a little different. that would make you like, if you could see the look on your face when I said the same person, you're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
But I want people to. Wow.
because there was a scene that they were naked and I saw titties.
You seen man boobs?
Was it?
Yeah.
See, Robert, you got me over here questioning my fucking sexuality, man.
Yeah. Yes.
Interesting.
Very,
Shit, man.
very. Tori is a very fluid, very. He can throw himself into a role, and you just like, wow, you really believe it. You know, It's like you really believe that. Who's this female vampire? Yeah, okay. Tori did a great job.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was like, who's this female vampire? They keep showing, but there's no connection. There was no connection. I was like, well, maybe this is something that's going to be seen in the feature length. But now you told me, I'm like, okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah. One and the same. It's manga.
Because I can imagine. I mean, I've had a lot of filmmakers who do short films, and some of them do it well, just like you do. They're able to give you a beginning, a middle, and an end in a short amount of time. And I felt like that has to be fucking challenging. Especially, I mean, I've seen some they can do it in like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, it is. To tell a story, to make a story full circle is challenging. And when you only have 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, what have you, because there's a lot of moving parts to a story. Unless you just have somebody trapped in a room or trapped in a car or something like that.
Yeah.
Even still, it's still challenging because you got to get all the characters, get their stories, make the audience understand the characters and what their characters' motivations are, and who's going to survive, especially if it's a horror film. Who's going to survive, who's not going to survive, and why. It's very, very challenging. In a feature, you have so much more time to develop your characters, to develop character arcs, story arcs, etc., and so forth. It's hard and short. It is. It really is.
Now, Robert, is it hard? And this is gonna be an asshole statement I'm about to say. But listen, is it hard not to? I mean, listen, you're the writer, producer, director. Is it hard not to also cast yourself in that movie and do that whole vanity side? I mean, is it hard not to?
No, not at all. Not at all. I have decided that I now want to be more behind the camera than in front of the camera. So no, I mean, I have a cameo in Cocaine Roach. I have a cameo in the feature film The Thirst. I play the janitor. I'm sweeping some stuff on the sidewalk, but that obviously didn't make the short. So it's okay to have a cameo, but I am regulated to watching other people who I work with, who I think have a lot of talent, watching them rise. We have this little collective group. You see the same people in all the movies that we do generally. They're so talented. They're so talented. Why can't they have the shine?
Yeah.
Shine. Let them shine. Let them grow. Let them be the actors that they intend to be, actors and actresses that they want to be. Give them some challenging roles. They can probably do roles better than me. I could never do that landlord role. I can't do that. I would never nail it like that.
Robert, I don't think you could have been dressed up like a woman. Yeah.
I could do
that. Would have been a challenge. That would have been a challenge for you, right?
That would have been a challenge. But Gary did it with ease. He did it with ease, And it's so you actually believe this guy's somebody's, slumlord. My money.
100%. He had the chicken thigh in his leg and his hand and everything. But I've never understood filmmakers who do that, and I see it mostly in indie movies where and I call them vanity projects. It's because they're the writer, producer, director, and they have to be the star of the movie. And I mean, I understand if you want to cast yourself in the movie and maybe have a background scene, but like to put yourself as a star, how can you direct a movie properly if you're also the star of a film?
You can do it. It's been done. I did it in Mad as Hell.
Mhm.
But you have to have a bigger vision outside of yourself, because without your supporting cast, your lead role doesn't mean shit. you know,
Yeah,
and I take a look at this movie, and I love this movie called Chuck Norris's movie, Code of Silence.
great movie.
Love that movie.
Hmm.
Chuck Norris is the lead, but he doesn't have a lot of words in that movie.
Hmm.
Supporting cast is what made that movie. Chuck Norris has the name, but the supporting cast made that movie.
I agree.
The same thing I think in indie film. If you don't have a good supporting cast, why the hell are you the lead?
I 100% agree. I 100% agree.
And you may be able to act, but then is your supporting cast going to reflect that? It just doesn't work for me.
Because I see that recently. I'm just going to toss a name out there. Steven Seagal. I see that like recently with his movies now, his straight to video movies. Like he is the director, writer, producer, co-producer, and he's also the lead star. And it shows. It really does. It shows. And like you were saying, his supporting cast, they fail because of that, I feel like.
I think with him, he's in a position now where he can just, on his name alone, he just kind of walks through his movies. He's the same person in this movie as that.
It is.
I think I could be totally wrong, but I think he's lost his passion for acting and is more of a business for him. So when you reach that point in your acting career, you probably should do something else.
And the guy has put on a significant amount of weight. I mean, he's the size of a house. I mean, at this point, like, it's not believable. Like, you watch his fight scenes, and you can tell it's a stuntman every single time because the stuntman is half his size.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, at this point, I'm like, it becomes a certain point where you can't be an action star anymore. You can't be the leading man. Sometimes it's okay. Like, I would love to see some people in a villain role, Be a villain.
He was great in Machete as a villain.
Yes.
Great, but once again, it just gets to the point where some people, some actors, actresses, it's a business now.
Mm-hmm.
Always a business, why they call it show business. But on a personal level, I think they lose that drive, that passion for acting, for making characters come to life. And it's just about one of my scenes, okay. One of I getting paid, okay. So
yeah.
God bless them. But that's not on my agenda.
Yeah. I was on my first movie set a couple months ago, and I had a short role in horror film, and I was just watching everything that the director does. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and he was being prepared for two of the actresses, they just completely didn't show up. Like, didn't completely show up. He had to rearrange the script and this and that. And I'm looking like, there's no way in hell you can do all. I mean, it has to be tough to do all that. And then you got to jump in front of the camera and carry. I mean, you got to carry the movie. Like, I'm just like, there's no way. I mean, I'm not saying that it can't be done, but like, why do it?
It's stressful. It's stressful as hell. It is very stressful. But if you make a great project, even if you make a bad project, at the end you can look back and say, "Wow, we did this."
Yeah.
Done, and it gives you tips for performance in the next one. If you decide to take on that gargantua again, I did this movie Snow Black. I wasn't the lead. I was like the second lead. I did it with Gloria Hendry, Ron Van Cleef, and our usual cast. And Nocturnal was in it, and I learned a lot. It's not the greatest movie. It's not. but I learned a lot about directing yourself. People not showing up, people showing up late, and this, that, and the other. I wasn't as adept at handling that then as I am now. So it gave me
Yeah.
a great experience, and I think that's one of the reasons why Mad as Hell came out really good, and it's probably another reason why I'm regulating myself. roles.
It's too much, man. It's too much. It's
Yes,
too much.
it's stressful.
All right, so let's shoot up over to your other film that we talked about in our first interview, which is Cocaine Roach, which I fucking love that title. And you sent me a I think unedited screener of it a
Right.
couple of months ago. And so listen, tell us a little bit about Cocaine Roach, and I'm gonna tell you what I love about that movie.
Okay, Cocaine Roach is about two partners, two really good friends, trying to score some weed and get offered a chance to make some money. And they go to the stash house with the lead person's enforcer, Ramanga's enforcer. They happen to bring their girlfriend with them, and chaos breaks loose in the stash house. There it is.
Now, this movie to me, while I watched it, it seemed like a horror stoner comedy. Was that your attention?
Yeah, I wanted to make it kind of like Friday.
Yes, that's what I got from it. Like this is definitely a movie that you would smoke a joint, sit back and laugh.
So you have comical parts. You have some very serious parts that drive home about the reality of today's world. You know, and fortunately, I have had 2 movie critics review it, and they both love it. They gave it thumbs up, and they're pretty reputable movie critics. So I think that we were on the right path with the story that we chose. You know.
Yes, and it was great that you picked roaches of all.
Well, you can identify how many times you're gonna encounter or a cougar or a crab, unless it's already cooked. You know.
So I live near the water, right? And like I should tell people. I said, oh, I have water bugs. Like that's what they call them. They call them water bugs. They're really fucking shiny. But somebody was like, motherfuckers, those are roaches, right? and I googled it. I was like, oh fuck, these motherfuckers are roaches. But if you live near the water, especially on the East Coast, you get water bugs.
You get them, and if you don't have them, you know somebody that does.
Yes.
So it's relatable. Everybody can relate to a roach. Everybody has seen a roach. So.
I definitely have been over. You know, my family grew up in the hood. You know, I mean, in the hood is kind of area. So like, I've definitely been to relatives' houses that had roaches.
Try not to sit down. Try to keep your hand.
Yep. Don't drink nothing. Don't.
Shake all your out before you
shake. Oh my god, man! Roaches are the fucking worst, man. They are the fucking worst.
Yeah, they're gonna be around long after humankind is gone. So.
My first house that I bought, I did not know it at the time, but it was infested with fucking roaches, and I remember, I mean, I moved in and so forth, and I started seeing fucking roaches all over the place. I was like, what the fuck? And then I remember, like, you know, every black person knows they have a relative that does everything, right? So, like, one of the black ladies work was like, oh, my nephew is a exterminator. He'll charge you half the price of like what Orchid or someone would charge. I was like, okay, swing by, and then, so he asked me, he was like, oh, so where do you see the roaches? I said, they're mostly on the downstairs floor. He goes, okay. And then I left, I went to work, and I came back, and I came home, and I was like, damn, the roaches are gone on the first fucking floor, right? I'm like, he did a great fucking job. And then I went upstairs with the bed, cut the lights off, and this and that, and I felt something crawl on me. Man, the roaches were in my fucking bed, in my bedroom, and I called this motherfucker, I was like, well, why are the roaches upstairs now? He goes, oh, well, you told me they were on the first floor, so I only sprayed the first floor. So mean, you stupid motherfucker. Like, why we not spray the whole fucking house?
Because it's half. Because he did it for half the price.
Yes, that was his whole thing. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. I knew I should have called. I should have called the big name company from the beginning.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But I'm telling you, man, you get roaches, they're fucking terrible, man.
They are. Now imagine them hyped up on coke.
Yes, and these motherfuckers are hyped up on coke. They're fucking eating. They're fucking doing everything, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna send you another screener so you can see it's finished.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna send it into the sales agent this week. Tomorrow. It's Thursday, so I'm putting it in the mail Thursday tomorrow. So you get to see the finished product. We expanded our character Diva Big Deal.
Nice.
We do have an exterminator. We added an exterminator. Bug Gone was the name of the business. Bug Be Gone. So and still there's that poignant, delicate relationship between Tanisha and her ex, and her present guy, and the girl, the daughter. It's whole circle, man. The whole circle.
Love it. And it adds that fear too that I always fucking have, being locked in somewhere with some shit and you can't get the fuck out, man. That's the most terrifying. You do that with any fucking horror movie, you're set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Locked in somewhere where you can't get the fuck out, and you know that there is an imminent threat somewhere where you're at.
Mm-hmm. It makes the best movies. Look at Die Hard.
Yes.
Speed. Saw. You know,
yes.
On and on and on and on. You're locked in and you can't get out. You got to find a solution to survive, find a way to survive, or a solution to get out. You know, some of the best movies are you're trapped inside something and can't get out.
And I'm telling you right now, man, this movie's going through great on Tubi. I think this movie. You know me, man. I love Tubi. I love Tubi before Tubi was Tubi, right? I was always a Tubi guy. And I just sit around, get high, and watch bad movies on Tubi all the time. And back in my younger days, but I fucking love Tubi. And like one of the biggest things, I mean, the genre that does great on Tubi, and most people want to say is horror, not really. It's black cinema, the indie black cinema, and you add some of that urban into it, and you add horror into it. Oh, it fucking always kills it.
Yeah. I think that we're going to do well when it hits Tubi. Right now, tentatively, we have a theatrical release, a limited theatrical release.
Nice.
So I think it'll do well when it hits Tubi because it's different.
It is.
It's different. It's tells a great story. I feel like a great urban story. I mean, really, how many horror movies were more than one black person survives? How many horror movies are there?
None. No, hold on. Let me think. Hold on. None.
Pretty much none. Pretty much. I think LL Cool J way back in 1990 something survived some alligator.
Well, LL Cool J is the only black actor to survive 2 horror movies. This is some movie trivia. To survive 2 horror movies, he survived Halloween H2O,
right?
And he survived Deep Blue Sea, the shark movie. He's the only black actor to survive 2 horror films.
That's right. So here we go with Cocaine Roach, where most of the actors are black. Most of them, and we get who's gonna survive. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs did a great job. Todd Senafante did a great job. Gary did a great job. Josh Alvin, and the 2 leads, Marlon Cannoli and Elise Hollywood Evans. Great jobs, fantastic. You're going to hate her character at first, but then after you see her character arc, you're going to start rooting for her. And same thing with Marlon. You're going to hate him at first, He plays a character named Omar. Yeah, you're gonna hate him at first, and then you're gonna root for him. You know, you're really gonna root for him when you realize it's just more than him being an asshole.
Awesome. All right, so I got a controversial question to ask you.
Okay,
A couple years ago, there was a movie called Blackish that came out. Did you get a chance to see that?
saw it. I heard about it, never saw it.
Okay, all right. Well, I was going to ask you about it
But as
because I think I'm one of three black people who hate that movie.
probably, I
It's
really
it's so offensive. I mean, it's offensive on like I went to see that in the theaters, and I was so offended by that movie. I was like, and I heard like black people laughing and stuff. I'm like, but it wasn't even like funny black people horror humor. It was just like every negative stereotype thrown at you. Like it wasn't even like scary movie funny, you know?
it was like the Good Times cartoon offensive.
Yeah, it was just like, every awful stereotype that's in the black community that we don't want other races to like know about.
Right,
It
right.
was that.
Yeah, that's. I heard about it, and that's why I didn't go see it. That's why
Yeah.
I'm
But
like,
for some reason black people love that movie and they're making a part two because it was successful in the box office. And I'm like, really?
well, if it made money, you know, the black audience is one of the uh, biggest consumers of
We
entertainment.
are.
You know,
We are.
so why not? Why
Yeah.
not get some more money off of that community? If they're gonna spend it anyway, let's get it. So let's
Yes.
blackish. That's what they're doing in the back in the green rooms. Yeah, let's make a blackish too.
I was so glad. I went home and I was like, boy, I hope a white man didn't fucking make this movie, and because when you see a movie like that and you see a white man attached to it or somebody who's not black attached to it, you're like, oh fuck, that's even worse, you know. I was glad to see Tim Scott. I think that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
A black filmmaker at least made a movie. I was like, okay, I felt a little bit better about it, you know.
A little, just this much, right?
Yeah, just a little bit. I was just a little bit, but I was like, bro, like, but I mean, he did bring up some good points, though. He did bring up some good points in that movie that listen, I've questioned all the time in like black horror cinema recently, especially Jordan Peele movies. I don't know why they make the black man look like the biggest pussy and coward, and they need a black woman to save them in every fucking movie. And they joke on that in that movie, and they really hype it on. But like, I'm like, shit, like that's something I know in a lot of our communities that is the case where the black woman is the leader and is the protector and stuff. But like, shit, do we want the rest of the world to know that? You know what I mean?
That goes full circle to how we started this conversation because we're playing with our toys.
Yes.
We're playing with our toys. You know, mother being caring and strong, and you got to grow up and raise kids. And we're not taught that. We're taught to be
Yeah.
strong and fix stuff that's broke. And when you got free time, play with your toys. So
Yeah.
what that is, man. That's
Yeah.
all.
But you don't see that in white horror movies, though. You don't see that in white horror movies where like a big, tall, muscular white man is like, "Oh, I'm gonna hide in this corner and let you, Susie, protect me." Like you don't see that, you know?
That you see them attempting, to assert their masculinity, but like Halloween, Friday the 13th, what is that? Nightmare on Elm Street. The woman always comes to the rescue. At the end of the day, it's the woman that wins.
Well, she's the one who survives, yes, but you always see a man risk his life to save a woman
Yeah, because we're
in those movies.
trying
But
to.
that's what a man's supposed to do, right? I mean, that's what we're programmed. But like, you go see a Jordan Peele movie, and you will see a black man fucking run and leave the woman there standing. And listen, I'm not saying that that's not a possibility in real life, but like, shit, come on now.
Well, Jordan Peele, who I admire a lot, I didn't really care too much for. What was his last movie with that?
Nope.
Nope, I didn't really care too much for that.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Nope.
But he is of, how do I put this? A different imagination. I think he way deep back in the oblongata in the back of his brain saying, I think he's a little crazy. So
Yeah.
craziness can come out in a storytelling. And so he's like, well, why do we have to do it this way? Let's do it this way. Let's do something different. You know, that's what I think. Yeah, I could be totally wrong, but that's what I think. I think he wants to give a different perspective, anti-perspective, if you would, on stereotypes and characters.
Yeah. But I'm listen, but this is not black white. This is black white everything. I am tired. I get it, but it's not believable when I see movies where women are protecting men and women are whipping 100 men's asses. You know what I mean? Like it's just. I mean, listen. You talk about Chuck Norris. One of my favorite Chuck Norris's movies is shit. I can't even think about it. It's the American movie. What's it called? Fuck.
USA.
Yes. Yeah. American USA. Is that what it's called?
Asian USA.
Is that what it's called?
I think so.
It's the one where he's fighting Russia and the China at the same time by himself.
It's got to be. Does he have the two little?
Yes, the two.
Invasion USA.
Invasion USA. Yes, Invasion USA. That is not believable at all. That one man is going to go ahead and whip Russia and China. I mean, at one point there's tanks and this and that, and this motherfucker is rolling. That's not believable, right? but it's not. But it's even more not believable that Scarlett Johansson, who's 90 pounds, is going to do the same thing. Is that wrong for me to say?
They should have replaced her with like Angela Mao Ying, and then it worked.
Yeah, or get like Amanda Nunes or somebody who looks. You know what I mean?
Oh, Cynthia Rothrock or somebody that.
Yes, like I don't believe. Listen, I could be wrong. I don't think Scarlett Johansson is whipping a bunch of men's asses in real life, in the movies, or anything. So, like, I don't get it.
I don't either. So I'm in total agreement with you. I'm lost with that. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I guess she just has the looks, and the guys are back in the green room. Oh, after we do the second installment of Blackish, let's get Scarlett Johansson to kick some men's asses. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Because it meant something to me. Listen, Robert, you're a fucking badass, right? You're a badass, won all kind of martial arts championship. Is there a woman in this world that can whip your ass in a one-on-one fight?
My mom.
Besides your mom, I mean, Amanda Nunes, Ronda Rousey.
Honestly speaking, I'm gonna say this because I don't want to piss off. Okay, I am the baddest man in this whole 2 foot square area. There you go. There it is.
Awesome, man. All right, listen, Robert, where can everyone find you, my friend?
You can find me on Facebook, Robert.Parham. I'm on Instagram at The Real Robert Parham. I just opened up a TikTok. I don't even know what that was.
I'll follow you on my TikTok that I never even use, but I'll follow you on my TikTok.
So check it out. Check out Cocaine Roach when it comes out. Which side am I? Over there. There you go.
Yes.
Check out Cocaine Roach when it comes out. And if you're lucky enough to hit a film festival to see the short version of The Thirst, please do so.
Robert, it's always a blast to have you on, man. It's always fun, man.
Thank you. Always. We
always get off on some weird fucking tandems, don't we? Some rats. All right, everybody. Listen, please look out for Cocaine Roach and The Thirst. And also, too, if I'm not canceled in the next couple weeks, please hit that like and that subscribe button. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Realm. I'm Travis Bruce, and that's Robert Parham. We'll see you next time. Take care.